100,000. We represent from the uttermost to the public housing. If we don't play, our wide receivers got your secondary shook, so they cook them like Bobby Flay. Hey, stay out of my way and trust me, cause I know it's OH. Somebody please give this brother an IO. Come on.
What up, Buckeye Nation? Welcome to the Buckeye Boys, where we talk college football with real fans. Excited to be here. The drama never stops. Is Matt Patricia going to be here next year as our defensive coordinator? Are the Buckeyes going to be able to talk some of these players that are eligible to go into the NFL, but also have some eligibility left in college football? Are they going to be able to convince them to stay behind? And when are the Buckeyes going to land a big-time prospect out of the portal? We're going to dive into a little bit of that tonight. But first off, chat, appreciate you guys for showing up, man. As always, do me a favor, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. Super chats are open on the Buckeye Boys channel. All super chats go to Teen Challenge and homeless veterans. On the Buckeye Scoop channel, they go to help our veterans out as well. For Buckeye Scoop, download, I just can't say the word, the Screaker app. We're now streaming on that as well. So gonna dive into this, man. It's kind of wild because you got the playoff scene, and we're on the shows all the time talking about game plans, what's going to happen. We end up losing, get out. You think you're going to have some time to, chill out a little bit before things get rock and roll again. No, boom, it's right back into it. But just take a second, guys, and think about, as a fan, the interest we have during the season. You would think that during the season, right, is the time where you need to pay attention the closest. Dude, now it's turned into year round, right? Because now is a pivotal time for this program as far as retaining coaches, retaining players, going into the portal. There's over 4,000, right, college football players in the portal right now. So a lot to dive into, man. It's kind of crazy. I know Buckeye fans losing their minds a little bit right now. Some of us are anyway. I've kind of talked about that a little bit. I think that's coming off of, right, the feelings that we have losing the Big Ten title, losing in the playoffs, and going into this portal. It's kind of got a negative energy flow to it. I'm not there whatsoever. I had a conversation today with a couple different people about what's going on inside the Woody, what this coaching staff is doing, and I'll get called a sunshine pumper and everything else, but I stick to, right, what I believe, what I know, and those things. So let's first talk about this Matt Patricia stuff, right? First, I'll say this. Tinker, put that down now. Thank you. Sorry, guys. She carries random stuff around. That's not yours. Get. I need to lock her up during the show. Sorry for those of you that do not like my dog interrupting my shows or me dipping on my show and all that stuff. I'm probably going to put a dip in here in a minute. But anyway, back to the Matt Patricia stuff. It would suck to see him leave, right? But obviously you see what's going on in the NFL. All these jobs are opening, and we can sit here as fans, and I can sit here as a YouTuber and talk about how much he's talked about loving college football and that he's already done it in the NFL at the highest level. He's won 3 Super Bowls, and the relationships he has with some of these players and what Ohio State has done for his career and all those things. But the truth is that, we're not in his shoes, right? We're not in his family's shoes to really understand what he's got going on. We don't know the offers that he's getting, but we do know that he is getting crazy, wild offers right now from the NFL. Obviously, what he did with this Buckeyes defense, and that's one of the downfalls about being a program like Ohio State, is if you have success at Ohio State, and in a lot of college football programs, but especially at Ohio State, I mean, you're going to be sought after quite a bit. She's going crazy. So that's one of the downfalls. But I will say this, man, and I've kept it the same. And college football, it's so fluid anymore, right? You guys have been watching this show for long enough to know that I cover recruiting very closely. I talk to recruits, I talk to families, and one day the families will be all Buckeyes, and I'll tell you guys, and the next day they won't be. And sometimes you have to decide, are they lying or did their circumstances just change, right? Most of the time, circumstances just change. So, as of a week ago, the information I had was, and this was coming out of the player side of things, is that Matt Patricia, it was coming back to coach, right, for Ohio State this year. And to be honest with you, I haven't got any other negative intel on that to say that he's not coming back. A lot of people are reading into this right here. He says, grateful, thankful, all the emotions, impossible to put into words what this season meant to me. Buckeye Nation, you are beyond compare. On behalf of my entire family, thank you for welcoming us with open arms. You made this season a joy from start to finish. And that is kind of set in a series of events along with somebody else getting on there, getting on a show and talking about, hey, he might not come back. The truth is, nobody really knows right now, and you can go either way. I mean, diving into a comment that comment doesn't lead in any direction. The person that said the things they said, I mean, those are given statements. You know what I'm saying? That they're very obvious statements to say that, right, with the opportunities coming his way, he might change his mind. You can say that about Ryan Day. You can say that about Tim Walton. You can say that about any coach on the roster, right? If the right opportunity comes his way, he's going to leave. But I'm sticking right with my thoughts on this. I've shared with you guys the intel I have on it. I do know a couple players feel pretty strong that he's going to remain a Buckeye, but anymore these days, I don't know. But I got news for you guys. I know you don't really like diving into this, but either way it goes, this is college football. We lost Jim Knowles last year. Ended up getting Matt Patricia, having a better defense. If we lose Matt Patricia, what are the chances we do that for a third time? Probably not very good. But I do have faith that, hey, we're going to go get a good defensive coordinator. We're going to dive this thing back. And that's not me saying Matt Patricia is leaving. I want him to come back badly, obviously. The conversations I have had with people is that he will be coming back. The feeling is good. But circumstances do change all the time. Different opportunities come your way. So that's that. The next thing I want to talk about is people in this transfer portal. It's driving people absolutely mad and insane. Not a lot, but the people that it does bug, they're very vocal about it. The Buckeye fans it does bug are very vocal about it. But me, not concerned. The main thing I got from the conversation I had today was this, and it's that the number one focus for the Buckeyes right now is retaining star players on the team that still have eligibility left. And I want you to think about something. You see all these other teams in the playoffs getting portal players. You see other teams in the country getting all these portal players. What other teams in the country have the amount of talent that could come back the following year as Ohio State? There's not another roster in the nation that has Jeremiah Smith, Carnell Tate, Caleb Downs, Arvell Reese, K-Mac, Kenyatta Jackson. Doesn't have that amount of star power that could potentially come back. And that is the number one priority for the Buckeyes. How do I know this? Through conversations and through what the Buckeyes did after the 2023 season, when we won, after the 24 season, when we brought back Jack Sawyer, JT Tuimoloau, all those guys that we brought back. It was honestly very surprising. Now, different situations with a couple of these players, especially Caleb Downs, first-round pick. Carnell Tate, first-round pick. Arvell Reese, first-round pick. it's really hard to match first round money, right? And that's just the fact of the matter. K-Mac, possibly first round draft pick, right? Kenyatta Jackson, not sure of. I've been hearing third, fourth round grades. I've seen as high as second round grades. Was told today he's coming back. Now, obviously, things are subject to change, but the feeling there is that he will come back. But the Buckeyes, even on that note, guys, think about the talent that they have on the roster that didn't contribute this year. We've seen a couple of them leave: Aaron Scott, Bryce West, Mylan Graham. Think of all the other players that are on this roster: Riley Pettijohn, TJ Alford, like all those type of guys, Fahim Delane. They are commanding, right? Teams are tampering, making big time offers to these guys, like big time offers. It's rumored Bryce West got a pretty big offer to leave Ohio State. Now, that's a rumor. That's not a Twitter rumor. That's a little more sourced rumor than that. But that's what the Buckeyes are dealing with right now. And their number one priority right now is retaining their roster and bringing back guys that they can bring back. Now, just because that's their number one, priority doesn't mean they're not looking around in the portal for talented players. But they also don't know the answer, right, from some of these guys. They're working out deals with trying to get K-Mac back, trying to get Arvell Reese back, and they have a certain allotted of money to those guys. They can't go out and spend that in the portal right now, because what if they decide to come back? You done spent the money. So it's super early, right? The Buckeyes are focused on retaining these guys right now. And I understand people are saying do both. But again, walk me through that. Walk me through, if you have $3 million set aside for K-Mac, right, to come back, how are you supposed to know what level nose guard you need to go after and how much money you have for him to go after if you're waiting on K-Mac to decide? Now, let me ask you this. Would you rather them just let K-Mac go and go get a nose guard out of the portal? Is that what you guys want? Answer that question for me in the chat. Would you want that to happen? Would you say, hey, K-Mac hasn't made his decision, he's making us pass and not put in offers we could put in otherwise, we should just tell him to go to the NFL and we should just go back and get guys? So that's one aspect of it here. Okay, so I just wanted to point that out. It's just the way my mind thinks, and that's also the facts. That's the truth of the matter. But that being said, the conversation I had also consisted of how much this coaching staff is grinding in the transfer portal, right? You guys just listened to B. Moses in Nevada. I told you guys a couple weeks ago, put in a prediction for Chaz Coleman to be a Buckeye because of some intel that I had there. That intel has not changed. He will be visiting tomorrow. And it sounds like he's going to end up signing with the Buckeyes. That's what it sounds like. So to act like the Buckeyes aren't making the moves they need to make and doing, now we'll have to wait and see if they sign it. But I'm not on board with watching other teams sign players, watching players that the Buckeyes are interested in sign elsewhere. I'm not, again, like I've said before, I'm not going to start freaking out about those things. The portal is not over. It's super early in the process and all those things. But, I mean, that being said, DeAndre Moore was on campus, wide receiver from Texas, on Sunday. The Florida running back, Jacoby Jackson, was on campus on Sunday. Cornerback, Lakai Rowland from Maryland was on campus as well. I mean, those are three good players to add to this class. I really like Jacoby Jackson. He didn't play a lot this year. Florida running back, played for them 2024, had like 509 yards, 95 carries, something like that. But injuries kind of plagued him. He's taking a visit to Auburn either tomorrow or today. He did. So Buckeyes are at there. They were in Horace Grant, right? I really wanted this guy, the big nose tackle out of USF. Looks like he's going to end up staying at USF. Took his name back out of the portal. And the Old Dominion wide receiver Trey Brown ended up committing to Tennessee, LSU, something like that. But still, upcoming visits: cornerback Bo Musco from Rutgers. It's kind of I'm getting different information about the day he's visiting, but I've heard that he is taking a visit. Kalen Lee, the corner out of Auburn, who was once committed to the Buckeyes, pretty good corner, I believe, really high on the Buckeyes list in the portal. He will be visiting tomorrow. So did I say USF? It's UCF. My bad, Taco, if I said the wrong thing. But yeah, it's being reported he's going to be visiting tomorrow with Chaz Coleman. So Buckeyes are doing their thing here. They're evaluating and they're grinding, man. They're not playing the nice guy, right? The Buckeyes, like in 2024 and even a little bit last year, you know how the CSC's out there with all these rules and whatnot. I've noticed a couple people reporting that the Buckeyes are still following the rules a little too closely. That's not the information I'm getting, guys. Like, I think the gloves are being taken off. The gloves are being taken off as far as conversations with guys on the roster. And the gloves are being taken off with attacking this portal. The tampering is kind of out of control. And we'll see, right? There's people complaining about, Ross Bjork bringing the nil in-house, that limiting our nil and all that. Dude, the Buckeyes have plenty of money. They always will have plenty of money to do what they need to do. There's way more things go into this. So again, what are we? Is this literally day 2 of the portal? Is that what it is? Day 2, day 3, something like that. So, and we've already had guys on campus, 3 guys on campus that we know of, right? The other aspect of this is it's very challenging to get this information, to find out who is coming and when they're coming. There are several reasons for that. One of the reasons is a lot of false information gets put out there. It gets put out there on purpose by agents. Agents, when their player enters the portal, they're going to put a tweet and a post out saying, "Hey, this dude's got interest from Ohio State." Well, if another team's interested in him, they know Ohio State's interested in him. Do you think that's going to make them be a little bit more aggressive if they get them on campus in hopes of them committing now instead of waiting till they get to Ohio State? The answer is yes. The other aspect of this is, dude, there's 4,000 players to sort through. So every staff member, all the staff members for all of these teams right now are working their tails off to evaluate, figure out nil, work on their current roster, all of these things. So they don't have the time or as much willingness as they normally do to have conversations with beat guys and other guys in their circles, talking to them about who's visited where. And things change so fast, man. This is the portal, right? Is right. The recruiting, how many months would you guys say like recruiting really picks up steam? I would say 3 months, right? Like, let's go with 3 months, right? Well, condense, you guys know how intense that gets on signing day and different weeks. Well, it ain't that many players. You know what I mean? Take the transfer portal, okay? 4,000 guys, and shrink the recruiting down to how many days is it open? I forget. It's like 3 weeks, something like that, maybe a month. I don't know, but shrink it down. Okay. So a lot going on, a lot of fast moving parts. So just because if you are a if you're a Buckeye fan that's upset right now with what you are hearing about who the Buckeyes are after, what they're doing and whatnot, I would encourage you to put the brakes on a little bit, because I'm not quite sure what you're hearing and what you're seeing is the truth. There are players, impact players, that the Buckeyes are talking to right now, whether they are in the portal or not in the portal, mind you, that nobody knows about. That's just what it is. It's happening. This is college football now. It is happening, right? Some of these things get worked out. I'm not saying the Buckeyes are doing it, but some of these things get worked out before players even enter the portal. The Natural January 16th, yeah, a couple of weeks. Shrink the recruiting season down to a couple of weeks. All that work, that all the evaluation they do during the recruiting cycle, shrink that down to 2 weeks. Make your decision, spend millions of dollars, and oh yeah, you better be right. Better not spend $1.5 million on Ethan Anianwa, and he can't even make your 3 deep. Okay, so listen, I'm not saying that all the complaints about how the Buckeyes handle the portal aren't true. That's not what I'm saying. I have my own complaints. Okay, I have my own things that, right, I would love to complain about. I just choose not to. So many people already do that. I'm just like, I'm not going to join that crowd, because there are way more good things to talk about in this Ohio State football realm than there are bad things. And plus, we're at the very beginning of the process. I mean, when this Illinois kicker committed to Texas A&M, which I was told was going to happen when he entered, right? I read the Illinois board. It's like, that's where dude's going, okay? Boy, I mean, it blew up, bro. It blew up. Buckeye fans were just absolutely tripping. So, I mean, it's nothing new, right? For the most part, if you're one of the fans that watches this show every night, watches Scoop every night, watches a few other, right, YouTube shows that cover the Buckeyes, you're probably not that person, okay? And if January 16th rolls around, well, no, not even then, because, right, that's just when the players have to enter the portal, right? So I was wrong on they have to condense that down. But for the most part, if an impact player is entering the portal, they're making a decision very fast, okay? But you can still sign players after that, but players just can't enter the portal. But this thing happens extremely fast, and you see the things that are going on. Yeah, I see that Texas Tech, $5 million for their quarterback. I mean, what is going on around here? Didn't the dude score 0 points? Did they score any points against Oregon? Did they? I don't think they did, man. So, right. I just think I do this sometimes too, man. I just get caught up in the moment sometimes. That, you got to take a step back and realize everything this coaching staff is sorting through. And yeah, it is a little bit different than every team. Every roster is a little bit different than the next. But again, not every, do you think other teams has any wide receivers that are getting as many offers as Jeremiah Smith, for example? Right? So, I mean, what do you think this staff has to do? They have to fight all those off as well, right? When you recruit the talent that Ohio State does, it's a two-way street here. There's a couple other programs like it, but man, you got to fight these guys off as well. So we're looking at these other programs, the Texas A&Ms, the Indianas, signing all these portal guys. It's a completely different scenario, guys. The Buckeyes don't need that many positions of talent in the portal. Like, I will do a show once things settle down a little bit, probably after the 16th. I want to make sure we have a better idea of who's entering the portal. Like, if any other players are going to enter, maybe we get some more information on who's coming back, and who's not. Then we'll dive into maybe the needs and whatnot of this team. But And we know how us Buckeye fans are. We always think there's way more needs than there actually are. I mean, always, every single time. We weren't at the practices this year. We weren't inside the weight room with Mick watching these freshmen and sophomore that we didn't see on the field a lot this year. We don't know. We didn't see him on the field. We don't know the type of potential these guys have. We don't know the plans, right, of this coaching staff. Does this coaching staff have the utmost confidence in Riley Pettyjohn to be a plug and play linebacker next year? As a fan, I would say yes. But the truth is, nobody knows except for Riley and probably the coaches. Like, know the expectations there. And there's a lot of growth that needs to happen here. There's a whole offseason that needs to happen. Same with this freshman class coming in. We don't know who's going to be able to contribute and who's not going to be able to. Like, we think Kari Wilder is going to come in and contribute. We don't know if he's going through or not. I would bet a lot of money that the dude is going to come in here and contribute. Okay, so, right, there's a lot to think about to dive into this and try to put yourself in the coach's mindset of, all right, what are the needs of these Buckeyes? Because they first have to figure out, well, who the heck's leaving? Who the heck's coming back? Not going to the NFL? All those things. But the exciting news is that the Buckeyes, they've had a running back, they've had a wide receiver, and they've had a corner on campus already. And I'll tell you that they are after corners badly. Obviously, I think that's our number one need in the portal, minus a kicker, obviously. But yeah, losing Bryce and Aaron Scott, it definitely hurts. It hurts the depth for sure. I think those were good players. But the Buckeyes are going after corners very hard. Defensive end's another one. Defensive tackle's another one. They're reaching out to a lot. Next week, defensive lineman. Next weekend from Colorado, Brandon Davis Swan supposed to be visiting. Like I said, Kay and Lee and Chaz Coleman will be visiting tomorrow. So, man, right, they're doing their thing. We just got to be patient. Once we have a better idea of, right, who these guys have signed, because we don't even know all the players that are in the portal yet. So there should be zero judgment coming from the fan base on how the Buckeyes are attacking this transfer portal so far. Zero. Right? We're on day 2 or whatever it is. There's still going to be more players entering the portal. There's a lot of decisions left to be made. So once that's done, if we didn't sign a couple impact corners, if we don't sign a good defensive end, if we don't sign a good defensive lineman, and we don't get a kicker, Devin's coming on the show and he's going to complain. He's going to join the complaining crowd. I promise you I will. I'll be on there, coming on being like, dang, man, I feel like they really screwed up here. But the truth is, we can feel all day long, right? We can feel like this year our defensive line isn't going to be any good, and Caden Curry could come out and be one of the best defensive ends in the country. We could feel, like Julian Sain's going to have a really rough season because he's a first-time starting quarterback, and he could come out and be the Heisman and be invited to the Heisman Trophy ceremony and be the most accurate quarterback in the nation. Okay, so, right. Yeah, sometimes our feelings do come to fruition. Unfortunately, my Jaden Fielding feelings came to fruition. I wish they wouldn't have, but they did. But yeah, so all right, chat. What you guys got going on? Yeah, Scoochie, I know we hear the same things a lot, man. I mean, this is the same, literally the same exact things were said last year in the portal about. I think it was mainly defensive line last year. We're still hearing the same thing. Now it's offensive line, which I'm not on that. Obviously, if a good offensive lineman comes in the portal and he's going to be an upgrade and he wants to come here, get him. The coaches will get him. They will take them. But I'm more of a, hey man, with some coaching changes, and some schematic changes and some help from your quarterback's legs, this offensive line can get the job done. So yeah. What up, Roll Tide? The trend is going to change recruiting completely. Yeah, see, this is so new as well. Nobody really knows. This year you see the 4 teams remaining, how they attack the transfer portal. Last year, Ohio State won. You know what I mean? We'll see what happens. But it's so new. Every coach, they have this idea in their head about how to do it. Some coaches think that you still need a base of recruiting, which there are arguments for and there are arguments against. The arguments against it would be Aaron Scott and Bryce West. Like, hey, you could sign these good guys, pay money, pay them for 2 years, and they don't contribute. So why not wait till the portal? But and then, go the other way with loading your roster with the portal. I like having the base of high school recruiting because I think you got to have that for the culture of the team. And I don't think a lot of Buckeye fans realize that a lot of the things they ask for would hinder the culture of this team. Going out and overpaying for. I've heard that a lot this year, that hey, the Buckeyes, well, now that they lost, hopefully it opens their eyes to they do need to go out and overpay for someone sometimes. And I just don't know that I believe that. But I could be proven wrong. You know what I'm saying? Could be proven wrong. Let's see. Yeah, I'm looking for the new season as well. What's all the matter? Losing your last 2 games. What's all that matter? Sorry, I don't understand that one. Yeah, I keep going back to we could be Michigan guys. Austin, thanks for $1.99. Do you think Chaz Coleman is almost a lock? 95%. It's so hard to say that these days, but yeah, I feel about 90% confident right now. There are conversations. The Buckeyes know the offer that they need to get Chaz Coleman, and they have made that offer. Okay, so right, but some of these other places that he's visited, are they going to be a little more needy at the position and go out and come in and offer him even more money than they already have, potentially, possibly? We've seen it a bunch. We've seen it happen a bunch, and money changes things. So yeah. Yeah, I saw the Matty G post. He posted a Caleb Downs, the Thorpe Award winner, on his page. Yeah, I don't read into that stuff very much. It is kind of fun sometimes to read how people do read into those things. That's another question I have is, hey, are we going to lose any more coaches, right? And everybody's talking about Matt Patricia. What about all these other coaches, Matt Guerrieri and Billy Fessler? And these guys are all getting offers too. James Laurinaitis, like they're all getting offers too, right? So we got to deal with that as well. Do I predict we could possibly lose another position coach? I don't know, man. Lots going on in the NFL right now. You just never know. But we can not like it all we want. This is the way of the game right now. OG Walt. No, I think OG Walt's going to stick around. He wouldn't be one that I have my eye on. OG Walt's got to get some corners in here. He's got to start recruiting some more corners or bringing them in through the transfer portal or something. He's got a very low number in that room right now, but they're on it. They're in contact with a lot of corners out of the portal. So, all right, y'all. I think that's going to do it. Appreciate y'all for watching tonight. please don't forget, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. I've been grinding, reaching out to people, reading all kind of stuff. Tomorrow, I think I'll do some more updates with you guys on some more portal targets. Come on here and talk about Chaz Coleman visit, the K and Lee visit. There will be there'll be probably one or two more visits on campus tomorrow. Hopefully we get the names of those guys. There are certain players that really keep a lot of things under wraps, man. And one of those guys will be on campus tomorrow. I'm trying to figure out his name, but haven't got it yet. So we will see. But everybody enjoy it, man. Don't get too worked up about it. Let these Buckeyes work. They've earned our respect. They've earned our trust. They won a national title last year. Yes, I have things to complain about too. I just choose not to, man. We got all off season to complain, but right now, long way to go in the transfer portal. Long way to go with roster retention, coaching retention, all those things. So let's let this thing play out a little bit longer. But yeah, y'all, appreciate you guys. Hit that like button on your way out. Hit the subscribe button. Appreciate all the super chats. Go to the Buckeye Boys channel, Buckeye Boys with a Z. Hit that subscribe button if you have not yet already. On Buckeye Scoop, download the Screaker app. We are streaming on there now. And if you're listening to us on Apple Podcasts, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. And as always, you want to stay up to date on transfer portal, targets, visits, roster retention, coaches, all that, hit up the Scoop message board. What up, Cleveland Mike? I got to get my dude on here for a show. Met him in Texas, had a heck of a time. Great dude, guys. Go check out Cleveland Mike's content. Dude, we got to start streaming on TikTok, Cleveland Mike. TikTok, bro. I'm going to try to get that set up. Got to get on TikTok, guys. I've heard that's the new thing to do. I don't have a TikTok, but Buckeye Boys will be on TikTok here soon. So I don't know what that's going to do, but I'm going to give her a shot. All right, y'all. Appreciate y'all. Love you guys. God bless y'all. Go Buckeyes. OH.